Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a watch that made me say wow. I don't mean to come across as jaded, but I've experienced many watches, many that cost more than this, that are larger or more complicated than this, but few, perhaps none, that have amazed me with a dead-in-my-tracks sense of awe and reverence. And this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day Date 2, the 218206 in full platinum blackout dial, well, let's just say I was amazed. This is a monstrous watch. Based on the Day Date 2 launched in 2008 and discontinued after 2014, it has immense wrist presence for a classical case profile Rolex, which is to say it feels like a nightmare scale Datejust with a dial straight out of Hades. And yes, everything you see here is factory. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it's bigger than the watch that succeeded it. It's far larger than the Day Date 40. 41 millimeters in diameter. It's not thick. As you can see in profile, the watch does sit low and it has a conical platinum bezel, so the timepiece only measures 12.2 millimeters thick. It's thinner than a Daytona. Lug-to-lug, and this is the case alone, not the end links, it measures 49.4. If you do include the solid end links of this President bracelet, you get a beefy 53.3 millimeters across the wrist with a 21 millimeter lug spacing, wrist presence to the nth degree. This one doesn't go to 11, it goes to 12. Now I want to give a shout out to the President bracelet on this model because this was the first generation Rolex bracelet to feature ceramic coated pins. Internally, the Day Date 2 Platinum bracelet, and only the Platinum bracelet, features pins, pivot pins for the bracelet that are coated in ceramic. It was a trial of a technology that became general for the Day Date 40 that succeeded it, but only the Platinum bracelet features these pins, and they are the antidote to Rolex bracelet stretch. They stop it dead. They will never wear down, they will never thin out, and thus play will never develop. It's a beautiful bracelet and solid and secure. All solid links, solid end links, and it feels as secure as an Oyster, but because of the small individual links, it feels as supple as a Jubilee. And you can see on the underside, this is absolutely appropriate as a sports watch bracelet. Big gaps to vent the wrist and avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. The clasp, like the rest of the watch, is simply enormous. Massive is the word. It's not any bigger than a standard Day Date 2, but like everything else in platinum, it's exaggerated in its heft. It features a lift lock system, so you can see it's actually a beacon hook closure. It's a vertical trigger. It's not friction fit. You can see a combination of high precision tolerances and a low profile, as the only visible partition point of a crown clasp in a President bracelet is that crown. Individual removable links fixed by screws jump into the case. It is solid and sexy with the compound curves you expect of a pre-super case Rolex design. And you can see that single oversized dot signifying a twin lock platinum Rolex crown. Turn it over, you can see the bezel gives the watch a masculine strength with its conical profile, and the dial almost defies description. There's a white railroad track outboard for seconds as well as the minutes, and you can read them off that scale, but what really intrigues is inboard, an all matte black anti-reflective center, and you can see circular gadrons stamped into the dial beneath blackened and gloss white gold Arabic numerals, so they are blackened and they are gloss blackened. They're not matte like the rest of the dial. The hands and the Rolex coronet are white gold in its natural polished state. You have a day and you have a date. The Cyclops Eye wears far better on the 41 millimeter case than it does on smaller watches featuring the same. It doesn't dominate to the same degree. This watch is incredibly powerful. It packs a punch. Caliber 3156, a unique movement only ever used in this watch. It marked the debut of Rolex's Paraflex in-house shock protection in the Day Date family. It features a stop seconds function, as you can see, for setting the watch to the second, and it also has a double quickset system, so let me see if I can set that. Find the detent, and it gives you the ability to quickly set the day and the date. I'm not terribly handy with a clutch. You can see that's how you cycle the day, and that's how you cycle the date. Screw it down, the watch has 100 meter water resistance, and the movement itself features a sports watch architecture. It's Automatic winding, bidirectional for smoothness and silence, 48-hour power reserve, 8 beats per second, full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance. It also has an overcoil hairspring of Rolex Parachrom Blue alloy. The alloy allows it to be robustly anti-magnetic. The overcoil architecture helps the watch to keep excellent time in any orientation on the wrist or on your dresser at night. Adjusted in 5 positions, it receives the COSC certificate, and then Rolex, of course, has always tested its watches to maintain COSC tolerances as fully cased up watches. 31 jewels, all in-house, everything from the bracelet to the clasp to the case to the dial to the movement, made by Rolex. One of the rarest and most dramatic Rolex timepieces you will ever encounter. This is the 218206, the Date 82 in full platinum.